Hey, friend, welcome back to the podcast. If you've been feeling constantly exhausted, mentally drained, emotionally stretched thin, this episode is for you. And I want to say this right up front: you are not weak, you are not failing, and you are not behind. There is a reason why you feel tired all the time, and it's probably not what you think. Today, we're talking about the real reasons Christian single moms feel overwhelmed and burnt out, and the mental load, it's there. The constant decision making, the scrolling, the overcommitting, the pressure to hold everything together. I'm going to share a little of my own story, what life looked like whenever I was 19, raising my daughter, finishing college, just trying to heal and grow and survive all at the same time. And what I've learned since then about exhaustion and clarity and relying on God's strength instead of my own. This episode is practical, it's honest, and it's going to help you identify exactly why you're so tired and what to do about it. So if you're driving, folding laundry, or hiding in your bathroom for 5 minutes of quiet, take a breath and let's get into it. But before I forget, if you're not on my email list yet, go get on it. Use the link in the show notes. I'm hosting something very special for single moms starting March 23rd, and you don't want to miss it. After reflecting on it, I honestly don't know how I did it. At 19, I was raising my daughter, finishing college, trying to take care of myself, stay connected to God, and still show up as a good friend. Oh, and still figure out, what I wanted to do with my life work wise. It was a lot. Now, fast forward to today, I'm married, still with one daughter, and life definitely looks different. Different challenges, different responsibilities. But sometimes I look back at 19-year-old me, even 22-year-old me, and I think, how did she carry all of that? And there were so many things to think about, stress about, and worry about. I was still healing from abandonment and hurt during my pregnancy. I was exhausted emotionally. But there was one thing that I kept doing. I prayed. You'll hear me say this often, but it's the one thing you can always do. When your kids are fighting and you haven't eaten yet and dinner feels overwhelming, when you forgot it's Valentine's Day and you're scrambling at the last minute, when you replay conversations in your head with people who hurt you and you wish you had said what you really felt, pray. Not because it magically removes responsibility, but it shifts who's carrying it. And who's carrying it? God, your creator. I understand the mental load. I understand feeling like you don't have even time to just sit still. Life can feel heavy. And over the years, I realized something important. It wasn't that I was doing enough, or it was actually that I was doing too much. Or I was doing things without clarity. Everything scattered, no clear direction. My brain felt like a plate of spaghetti. And life doesn't have to feel that way, at least not all the time. God does the heavy lifting, but He also gives us tools, and you're allowed to use them. You're allowed to learn new ones. You're allowed to unlearn tools, maybe coping mechanisms that you've learned in the past. So let me say this clearly. You are probably either doing too much or you're unclear on what you should be doing, which makes sense if you feel burnt out and why you're just emotionally and mentally exhausted all the time. It's like you have 1,000 tabs open in your head and you just don't know which one to focus on at the right time. And I know exactly what that feels like. If your kids have a practice here, a recital there, a Bible study somewhere else, that's already a full plate. Plus the house, plus your job, plus finances, plus your health and, your mental sanity. Even right now in my own life, even though I'm in a different season, I have a year-long commitment to my church orchestra and I love it. I was so ready to go back and play my instrument and meet new people, but I realized, halfway into like the year, I cannot commit to another year. And that's hard for me to admit, but I don't have the bandwidth to keep up with rehearsals and practicing on top of everything else. And it even makes me sad to say that out loud, but I have to say no. And that doesn't mean I don't love it or I can't play, on my own time, but I know my limits. So again, the first reason you're mentally exhausted and burnt out, just to recap that last bit, you may be trying to do too many things all at once at the same time in your head, and you may be unclear about what you need to focus on. And that sounds silly because, hello, you're a single mom, you have so many things going on, but I can assure you there is a way to be clear on what your priorities are and what to focus on. Now, let me give you 2 more reasons you might be mentally and emotionally exhausted. First, scrolling. A little here, a little there, and it adds up. We're consuming more information than any generation before us, and we leave apps anxious, comparing, questioning whether we're doing enough. Why is her life easier? Why does she look so put together? Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to compare. And then the spiral continues. So please start paying attention to your screen time. I'm actually begging you, not out of guilt, but out of awareness, because awareness of a problem helps you to actually take the first step towards change. You will think clear, your kids will get more of you, and you won't be carrying around everyone else's opinions and trends in your head and trying to keep up with it. And I'm telling you this because it's what I have to tell myself too. I love to read articles and watch videos, but I have to, in podcast, I love to listen to podcasts, but sometimes I need to put a stop to it and just sit in the silence of my own thoughts or just nothing. Moving on to the second reason. You're trying to do everything in your own strength, your own wisdom, your own memory, your own mental capacity. And friend, that is exhausting. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, "My grace is all you need, for my power is made perfect in weakness." You do not have to carry this life and all the different things in it alone. And you don't have to chase every online expert either. I actually recently took a week off of TV and like media, podcasts, YouTube, and I'm thinking about doing it continually because it really helped me realize how distracted I was, and I wanted to hear God on specific things I had been praying for, and it really helped. But if you don't want to take a break from TV yet, you don't feel ready for that, start reading the book of Proverbs. It is full of wisdom. It's probably one of my favorite books of the Bible. And if you need wisdom, in James chapter 1, verse 5, God reminds us that if we ask him for wisdom, he gives it generously. He doesn't shame us for asking for wisdom, never. And he's always faithful to give it to us. And so ask him. And then this last part, do something simple. Write it down. Write down birthdays, appointments, write down your grocery list, write down reminders, or just get it out of your head and onto paper or into your notes app, somewhere where you are going to see it. Because when you stop relying on memory alone, you free up mental space immediately. Small shifts like this change how you show up. And I'll give you my last little tidbit on that. Sometimes I whip out a sheet of paper and I just write everything I am stressed about because it no longer lives in my head. I write it down. I say a quick prayer. God, I give this all to you, and I'm ready to get back to whatever I was doing or just take a break. Remember, you're not alone in this. When Jesus is the Lord of your life, you are not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You are invited to cast your burdens on him. That is all I have for you today. But before I go, if you're not on my email list yet, go join it using the link in the show notes. I'm hosting something very special for single moms starting March 23rd. That's about 5 weeks away. And if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, it was created just for you. I'll see you in the next episode, friend. Bye.